Oh no! You cannot say that on the air. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. I'm the PR guy. This is what my degree was for. This wasn't even what my degree was in.
Okay, wait. We'll talk about education,
Building
the
credit.
broker system, credit.
Yeah.
Credit in schools.
We'll start with education and yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
In schools.
Education, schools, my journey through the schooling system.
Credit. Okay.
Yeah, we can start with that.
Welcome back to Change the Conversation on The Answer San Diego. Time now for more compelling content concerning the needs of San Diego. And here's your host, Andrew Gay.
Welcome back, guys. I have to say this. I just want to make sure on the first segment there, I'm not actually attacking
Andrew
old people.
hates old people.
I like old people. Okay.
That's what the
my
title
mom
of this
is
gonna be.
old person.
Yeah.
I love my mom,
Oh
Sam.
my gosh.
So
I would
okay.
hope so. She's a very nice lady.
Yes, exactly. And she's old, and I love my mom, so I love old people. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, good. I'm glad you cleared that up. That way,
sure.
that way, no one thinks,
our
okay, Andrew
listeners.
clearly hates anyone over the age of 30.
I don't have any hate in my heart, but more importantly, when it comes to certain things, I am going to always bring up some pretty controversial things. And I think it's important that we make sure and look at both sides. Whenever we're trying to solve a problem, remember, I'm not here to point fingers. At the same time, it's important that we all share responsibility when it comes to solving these problems.
And it's okay to discuss
Absolutely.
things.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of times you got to talk about stuff that's weird, and that's okay. It's okay to talk about weird stuff.
That's part of change the conversation.
Change the
We're going to
conversation.
change it to some real stuff, and sometimes real stuff and honesty is a lot of times controversial, believe it or not. Yeah. Everyone wants to lie to everybody because it seems like it's easier to lie than to be honest. But guess what? On this show, we're just throwing honesty straight out. All right.
Just a brick in it.
Of credit. Now explain credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what is credit? Credit in essence is, you're building your credit,
Yes.
so that banks will decide who they loan money to.
Yeah,
right?
but it's interesting because since I'm 23, I'm at the process where my credit score is not necessarily solidified for the rest of my life because I'm still pretty early, but I've made a concerted effort to try and make sure that I have a good credit score.
Okay.
I've made sure that I keep it above 760 and I'm keeping it, hovering it there. But the thing about it is that the reason I care about that is because I need a good credit score for the bank to decide to give me money for other things.
No, it's not just your credit score, though. I see a lot of people, this is a misconception. It's not just your credit score, but it's also your credit history, okay? So the banks not only want to know do you have a good score, but they want to look at your history. All right, this guy, has he loaned, has he borrowed money? Has he paid it off? So like you said, right? So the banks are going to sit here and say, we're going to use your credit score to pick and choose who we allow to borrow money from us.
Yes.
So a credit score, all a credit score means in credit is to allow banks to loan you money.
Yes.
Right?
It's a
Okay.
spectrum to
So
allow you.
It's funny, but you know that rich people who have a lot of wealth, they don't have credit. They don't have to have credit.
No, it's you don't really need credit when you have $200,000 in your checking account.
So you don't need good credit if you have money.
Yes.
But yet if you don't have money, you need good credit.
This is where this turns into a financial whirlpool.
So in essence, all the people that have all the money, i.e. the banks, get
Yes.
to pick and choose who they give money to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we look at the history of banks lending money, it's pretty obvious that they've been able to pick and choose who they've loaned money to.
Very specifically and with some factors in mind.
Okay. So we can actually look at a lot of these social problems that we have going on, and a lot of the facts that we've not allowed certain groups to gain wealth is not just blaming the government, but blaming the banks. But I'd argue it. I tell everyone out here, hey, by the way, I want you guys to know something. The banks and corporations, they're the ones that actually pay for the government. So I don't really know much of a difference between government, banks, corporations, insurance companies. We should probably just all group them into the same category.
The interesting thing is they're all under the same umbrella, but we look at them as separate entities.
I got a question for you, Sam. What happens when you die with good credit?
I imagine it's the exact same thing that happens when you die with anything else. It disappears into nothingness. It goes, or if you have loans that are sticking around, you still have that. This is what I do know. See, this is what college did teach me, but by accident, is that if you pass away and you have loans that are still active, it passes on to your next of kin, if I'm correct. So
So
Your
the
kids
banks,
could have to pay.
So the banks keep coming after you even after you're dead.
Oh yeah, they'll
wow,
come,
that's
then they come after your
damn.
kids. They came after
Wow.
my kids.
That's like New York mob kind of stuff going
It
on
is
there.
exactly that. It's just they wear nicer suits, and
Which is
they're-
actually kind of funny too, and I'll just throw this out here real quick. But I was watching some documentary on the New York mob in the 70s and 80s, and they created this RICO Act. It was a racketeering act that they
my
created.
gosh. I
and I'm
saw that
watching the
Netflix
show,
series.
and I'm like thinking to myself, you know what's kind of weird is this looks exactly like California's government right now. So yeah, anyways, I have a strong feeling here that our local California government, county government, city governments, arguably the federal government, is guilty of some really large racketeering crimes. But anyways,
Do you know
that's
who
going to
was
be for next year.
Do you
So
know who was the presiding attorney over that case?
Oh, is Mr.
Rudy
Giuliani? I saw him. You look so young.
Oh my
back
gosh,
then,
he
too.
actually had
Wow.
he had so much hair.
Wow,
I mean, dude,
I know.
You know,
Now he's
Rudy's
starring-
a little older now, but I don't.
And
we,
now
we
he's
know what he
starring
did.
in,
We-
movies, I
we don't
heard,
talk,
too.
We don't talk about that. Well, gosh, I
Okay.
was thinking more of the fact that he had hair.
Okay,